here, 1v1, Calderis Refinery, blue side. It's the great Cornholio as a Chaos Sorcerer, offensive and disruptive commander. Dots great manipulation and control abilities and some powerful offense too. Up against on the red side, CNA is a Farseer support commander that fights in melee combat. Some powerful buffs, debuffs and control abilities. This is 271. Farseer got some buffs in this update. Special attack, a default special attack, I think is slightly better. Also some of her war gear either lowered in cost or improved. So we'll see how that goes. Not going to have a warlock to be throwing out destructors on these heretics, that's for sure. More heretics here for Cornholio. CNA not going for a second Dire Avenger, looks like. Early power suggests early Guardian weapon team, maybe two of them, most likely two of them. Here it is, CSM, looks like they're breaking east. And the Sorcerer's going west with the second heretics when they come out, most likely. Going to run into the Farseer and maybe some Banshees. Banshees supported by Guide will mop up default heretics pretty handily, but those early game doom bolts can be devastating to these, especially to these low hit point, high model squads in tier 1, which I think Banshees would fall under. They're chasing him. He's falling back to this infiltration. They're going to try and bait out the doom bolts when it kicks off, or maybe right now. He might throw it out right now. And they do dodge it. Nicely done. Not wanting to engage yet. They want the Farseer backing them up. Now she's capped. As you can see on the map there, she's going to come towards this fight. Not sure if Cornholio wants that fight. Oh, it's double heretics here. He should take it. He should take the fight here. Sorcerer's a bit far away. There's the Doom Blast, but only caught the Banshees right on the edge of the blast, I think. So it does suppress them, but didn't do much damage. Consume from the Sorcerer, taking one of those heretics and gaining health and energy. That was buffed a few patches ago, I think. There's the Doom Bolts. Wow, big damage on the Banshees. CNA needs to get out of here. Why is he bringing these Banshees in here? They're on half hit points against double heretics. Bad fight. Losing one model, losing another. Very poor decision to engage there, I think, by CNA. Should have been out of there as soon as that Doom Bolts hit, as well as it did. Meanwhile, CSM are capping mid. Not sure what the Dire Avengers were up to. They're back at base right now. Might have run into them. Raptors on the way for Cornholio. Perhaps expecting the double Guardian weapon teams. Here's one of them. With that Shuriken Cannon by default, they will suppress infantry units and do massive amounts of damage if they get close. They do need to set up and have a limited firing arc. Relatively maneuverable though for a setup team, these guys. Not sure what that Doom Blast was. Grenade repels them. Going to be a very good tool to use for heretics marauding towards their infantry. This grenade from the aspect, these guys now getting 33% more hit points in 271, but they can no longer get their warlock in tier 1. And he gave them that passive range damage resistance thing. Now comes out in tier 2. Generators being shot up here. You see both of them being damaged. That's because bullets naturally stray onto other targets. Here comes that Farseer running through that wall. I'm not sure why that wall is bugged like that, but it is. Oh, Raptors jumping in. That noise is their suppression when they land to nearby troops. That was a last minute addition, I believe, the fact that they suppress when they land, suggested by Lulgrim, the former modder. Now he kind of hangs around, but I think the original plan was them not to do anything when they landed, kind of like Storm Boys. But this is a really cool addition. Hard to imagine them without it now. 497 to 455 on the VPs, 1-to-1 cap. There's some grenade launcher heretics, unable to really hit the Banshees in motion there. Got to try and ground fire and time it well. Here comes some Dire Avengers, might try and throw a grenade in. Doom Bolts flies in though. Wow, CNA not moving them whatsoever. Should have been a bit more lively to those Doom Bolts flying in. Not sure what else he was focusing on there. Maybe trying to maneuver the Banshees around. We do have one Heretic squad with Aspiring Champion in that melee state. Aspiring Champion giving them more hit points, which in turn makes their Doom Blast do more damage. They did get a small buff, of course, in 271. They now do, I think it's 2 more damage per hit from 20 to 22. Not a huge increase, but not bad either. They now cost 200 to get onto the field as well. Requisition, that is, not 190. Farseer on capping duty here. Raptors jumping in. The single shuriken in a bad way. Needs to be protected by those Banshees and wasn't. Tier 2 for CNA. A quick Wraith Lord would be great here. But easier said than done. I think he's going to get his power bash now. Raptors decapping the VP. Generator's already weakened. And here comes the Sorcerer. Heretics backing him up. Something's capping mid. It's a CSM. What is this? Farseer's found some Heretics. And takes one out. Can we see her improved special attack? No, we might actually see her go down here. Taking a lot of damage. Puts guide on herself and goes down. That's very sloppy from CNA. Banshees have found some CSM, but Cornholio was quick to get out of it. Power's going to be completely bashed. These guys are not going to stop it with Raptors around. And it's looking pretty dire for CNA. That was a kind of a bad tier 1. But they're in tier 2. Can they turn it around? Wraith Lord would be fantastic here. Punish the Raptors really badly. And Cornholio hasn't started to go tier 2 yet. But his power bash is not good. Oh, might stop a complete bash at least. There's Coruscating Flame on those Heretics from the Sorcerer's Sword of Flame. Those are not melee Heretics though. Banshee's in trouble. Banshee's in big trouble. He's going to lose them. Really badly misjudged engagement by CNA. Does take down the Sorcerer. Was that Ghost Helmet? Was. That's the Mind Warp. But another misjudged engagement by CNA. Sounds like I'm really having a go at them, but just calling it how I see it. Raptors, I don't think they lost the model. Here comes the Wraith Lord. And not a moment too soon for CNA. We'll see how he does. Farseer again getting in a fight with those melee Heretics. Didn't work out too great for her last time. But because of the way she's positioned, not all of the Heretics were able to get into combat. As you can see, that object there is blocking some of them. Can't retreat, apparently, says CNA. Dawn of Bugs. Looks like she gets out there eventually. And I think Cornholio laid off her there because of that retreat bug. 448 to 348 on the VPs. 100 lead then for Cornholio there. Now bashing this node. You're just going to get jumped, mate. Need to be there ready with the grenade. Nope. There's the attempt. Nicely done. Really nicely done. And gets a model. Good play from CNA. Doombolt's going to fly in here maybe. Level 2 Sorcerer. We have a level 2 Farseer also. And there's tier 2 for Cornholio. Here's the Wraith Lord. Walker vehicle for Eldar. Massive damage from this Ghost Glaive Sword, I think it's called. Attacks pretty slowly, but every hit from that thing can evaporate infantry. Going for the shoulder-mounted Shuriken Cannon. Big piercing DPS. Bad news for the Heretics. This is short. Can fire it on the move, as you can see. Not sure how accurate it is, though, on the move. And gets them off the mid. So what do we see Cornholio go for here? Could be Plague Marines, could be some Havocs. I think Havocs will do pretty nicely with a las cannon. Dire Avengers haven't leveled yet, apparently. Don't have their Exarch either. They found some Heretics, though. And get them out of there. Going to try and cap that VP. And does so with the Farseer. These guys can take this contested power. And what does Cornholio purchase? Fire Dragons on the way for CNA. Maybe he's expecting the Dreadnought. You got to remember these guys could have played each other before. In fact, I know they have. So they might kind of have an idea of what their opponent lacks to go for. Cornholio is indeed going for the Chaos Dreadnought here. Obviously a Marco Zinch Chaos Dreadnought to fight the Wraith Lord. Wonder if he'll change his mind once he sees the Fire Dragons. So there they are. Getting their Exarch immediately. Have their fusion guns. Rapid firing melter guns basically. Good damage to all targets at close range. Eating a Doombolts again. He's been punished pretty badly by those things. Guardian Weapon Team is in trouble. It looks like it's going to be okay. I thought he turned to try and use the grenade barrage there, but I didn't actually see it go off. 387 to 348 on the VPs. It's Plague Marines now for Cornholio, cancelling the Dreadnought. What are you attacking? What's going on here? He was really annoyed with that structure there. Fire Dragons getting their scale armor. I'm not even sure what the hell that thing does now. Just, I think it gives them more speed and 100% accuracy on the move or something like that. Raptors now with their aspiring champion is pretty mean with Melter Pistol and Power Fist. Can maybe help keep the Wraith Lord in place for those Plague Marines to shoot it down. Here they are. Very tough, very slow with a snaring missile launcher. Fire Dragons persuaded to leave. Heretics moving in, tying up the Shuriken. That thing's been caught a few times and might go down on retreat. No, survives. Look at the Wraith Lord tearing through those guys. Now gets in to tie up the Plague Marines. Raptors are going to choose their targets well, going after the Dire Avengers. And there's nothing much the Dire Avengers could do. Need to get out of there. They do have their Warlock Exarch now. I don't think he no longer knocks you down when he jumps on you, I think. Which was pretty annoying thing that he could do. Sorcerer wants to leave, I think. Smack. Smack. Look at that. Big chunks of damage. Puts Coruscant Flame on himself for no particular reason. Oh, look at this. Mark of Corner CSM. They get power melee chain axes and a Melter Pistol on the aspirant champion there. Bad news for the Fire Dragons being heavily armoured. That's for sure. Farseer gets away, I think. Wraith Lord is chasing. Where are those Plague Marines at? They're coming out of base now, so the Wraith Lord's not under a huge amount of pressure. Fire Dragons try to do their thing. Here come some Seer Council. No, it's not Seer Council. I thought that was a Seer Council model there. It's just the Exarch for the Dire Avengers. I was going to say, when the hell did he get to tier 3? Would be a pretty good choice here, actually, if he can get to tier 3 against Raptors and melee CSM. Get some Seer Council, which now costs less red for the Farseer to call in. She's the only hero that can call in Seer Council. In fact, in retail, that's the only way you can get Seer Council. In Elite mod, all of the heroes can purchase them from the HQ. Here, the Plague Marines. Watch out for that missile launcher shot. There it is. Boom. Slows down the Wraith Lord. He's going to tie him up, though. Circle of Summoning, spawning in some Bloodletters, allowing his infantry to reinforce around it, too. A Wraith Lord tearing through those heretics there. Boom. Smack. Wow. 4 models with 1 hit. Now goes back to tying up the Plague Marines. Shuriken coming to a bad spot, being tied up by the Bloodletters are coming out of that circle. It lasts 15 seconds, I think, which is a pretty decent amount of time. Might be a bit longer than that. Plague Marines still being chopped up. Heretics here forcing melee combat on the Guardian Weapon Team, so they can't fire, but they do fire. We're able to get just far enough away to turn and set up. The speed of the Shuriken Cannon Weapon Team coming into play there. Maneuverability, rotation speed, all that good stuff. Can they get a Raptor model here? Nope, they jump away. Wraith Lord has done well. Following up with the Fire Dragons was kind of weird, but I guess it stopped the Dreadnought coming on the field. It's gone tier 3. I was expecting some Dark Reapers maybe, but I guess with the Raptors around and the melee CSM, he wanted tier 3 for Fire Prisms. Which is a good thing to get. And he has plenty of red for Seer Council too. Raptors on capping duty, down to 860 something hit points though. And here comes the Farseer. She has her Singing Spear. Not sure what prompted this. It's a heavy melee weapon, so good damage to all targets. Usually you'd see it purchased as some supplementary AV to use alongside her guide. But it is I mean, it will hurt everything pretty good. You'd usually see the Doombringer though, surely, to debuff things and do decent anti-infantry damage. So 2-1 cap for CNA. He's held on pretty well here. 313 to 302 on VPs. Still very, very close. Sorcerer being annoying. Level 3 here. Doesn't get the decap. Here comes the Plague Marines. Kind of isolated though, really. Farseer is almost level 3. Can't quite tie them up. She can actually. She gets in there. Can she get a model? Maybe she can. They're retreating. No, couldn't quite manage it. The Gunny Weapon team is still around and is sitting mid, not behind that shield though. You're gonna get a power bash here. I think CNA can hear the worship and has no idea what is lurking around here, infiltrated, so backs away. Shuriken's been moved up. You want some stuff in front of it, I think. Or at least a Wraith Lord close by to chop up raptors. Speaking of raptors, where are those guys? Here they are. Haven't leveled yet. Done well though. Plague Marines not being reinforced. Poor blokes. There's some infiltration. Suppression, I should say. Where's the infiltration? Are these guys gonna worship now? Nope. Did their barrage, and that was it. There's a circle of summoning. Really annoying ability. I think he should back away from it here. Oh, Plague Marines get shot. Wraith Lord needs to be careful. The raptors are where? The raptors are there. He's going to jump the Fire Dragons, I think. Nope, goes for the Dire Avengers. Misses them. Now turns to engage the Farseer. The Wraith Lord is there. Those guys grenaded themselves. Look at that. Backhanded. Plague Marines are being suppressed, but they don't mind being suppressed. Behave very well under suppression. Need to tie them up still. Wraith Lord, I think, is trying to do so. Getting kind of path blocked by the CSM here. And Cornholio doing the right thing, keeping the Plague Marines moving, turning and shooting. Could be the end of the Wraith Lord right here. Trying to help them out is the Shuriken. Sorcerer now. Boom. Plague Marines down to only one model. Can he finish him off? Maybe. One more hit will do it. Nope. Now needs to turn and try and fight some CSM. Don't think this Wraith Lord's going to get out of here. Oh, definitely not. Here comes a tank. There we go. That's really bad for CNA. That could be GG right there. Seer Council are on the field a little bit late, but they are on the field. Really cool power melee squad that can jump into combat and provide some very nice buffs passively to themselves and nearby allied infantry. I believe it's a 15% range damage reduction. I wonder if that stacks. It must stack with the Warlocks. The Warlocks damage reduction for the Dire Avengers. Is that a passive thing, or is it just when emboldens up? I can't remember. I know that it was improved. Another Wraith Lord on the way for CNA. That's very strange. You've seen the tank. You know there's Plague Marines, and you go for a Wraith Lord. Very odd. Is that a mistake, I wonder? They're on the way. It's on the way. 179 to 302. I was expecting the Fire Prism as the next purchase here. We do have a Bright Lance to threaten that tank. So Council moving in. Raptors do not want to fight those guys, and they back the hell off. But the damage they did there with just a few attacks and jumping all over the Sorcerer. Wow, chopping him down. There was like 2 attacks each on retreat and he almost died. Robes of Torment in play to keep those Seer Council locked down. What is this? Dire Avengers kind of idle over here. Wants to bring them to the mid. Can threaten things with their grenades. Bright Lance is getting shots on. This is a regular old Chaos Predator here with no mark. Still got an autocannon on top though, and heavy bolter side sponsons. Not sure what these Plague Marines are up to. They're going to explode on death, which is bad news for surrounding enemy units. Fire Dragons coming in, trying to put pressure on a tank, putting pressure on a tank. Tank needs to back the hell away. Sea Council getting kind of low. Now the Plague Marines in retreat. Going to drop another model at least, I think, before they get out of there. There it is. Knocking down the Sea Council as they do so. Fire Dragons in a shooting match with a tank, and Raptors come to spoil the party. Full retreat out there by CNA. Where were the Dire Avengers? They were not helping, were they? And not capping either. Misplay there from CNA.
Your forces obey you.
Raptors are now level 2. What about these Plague Marines? They haven't leveled up yet. You'd think he's going to reinforce at least one of them, I think. Here's that Wraith Lord. Going for the Bright Lance on it. I'm not sure I agree with this purchase, but we'll see how he does. With Guide on him, maybe, but you'd think the Guide will go on the Fire Dragons to hunt down the tank. Oh, that was the Chains of Torment from the Robes of Torment. It's actually it was actually identified as a trap there. It's kind of interesting. I don't think any other ability uses that mechanism, I don't think. Kind of activating something as you get close. Other than mines, obviously. Wraith Lord. Oh, doesn't want to fight the Raptors. Oh, here he comes. Here he comes. Raptors need to be careful with Sea Council loitering around. Now he's seen that Wraith Lord, though. What does he do? Oh, it looks like he's got a Mark of Nurgle Predator. Less effective against big targets like the Wraith Lord, but big hit points, melee resistance, health regen, and this stinky autocannon shell, which I think used to do friendly fire, but that was changed in the patch. Look at that. Uh oh. Chains of Thermal Subjugation on the Sea Council, turning them against the Fire Dragons. That's pretty nasty. Now they're back under CNA's control. 114 to 266 on the VPs. Zinc Shrine coming up. CNA really up against it here, I feel like. He's been up against it most of the game, to be honest. It feels like. When that first Wraith Lord came out, he had some success. But I don't think it was quite as painful as he needed it to be. I don't think he actually took out a Marine with it. Killed a bunch of heretics. Made a bunch of Marines retreat with it. I don't remember him killing anything. Now it's being shot up by a tank. And Plague Marines as well. I mean, what do you go after here? Now he's just standing still. 114 to 250. CNA is floating tons of resources. Well, tons of power in a way. Gonna need to... Yeah. Not gonna get away. It was a mistake pushing the Wraith Lord in. When the Sea Council were forced to leave, the Wraith Lord should have been backing off, I think. Much easier for me to say right now. Farseer now trying in vain to keep the Plague Marines away from the VP. But oh, here we see Melter Raptors, CNA down to just 3 units. This game is pretty much over here, I think, despite the VP lead. Going to find it very, very tough to stay in this game now. Very, very tough. Someone can cap mid. Raptors can try and decap over here, but see a councillor there. So's a grenade. There's the jump. They're no longer suppressed when they land, when they get their melter guns, which is a big downside. But they are melter guns. Oh, there's Thermal Subjugation again. Bad news for those Dire Avengers. 87 to 250. Fire Prism is on the way. I think it's too little too late though. Raptor's going for power. Not sure if Cornholio realizes how far ahead he is here. So Councillor's still a threat, that's for sure. Still a threat. Let's see how much damage this Nurgle tank is doing. Seems to be pretty decent. There's Guide on that Seer Council, almost wiping out the CSM there alongside the Farseer. Farseer is sprinting after the tank. So Council being shot to pieces though, held up there by that sync kill. Time field goes up from the Farseer. That's from her armor of the Assyrian. Now gives her some health regen. I think that's new. Oh, Eldritch might take out the tank. Oh, it's warped away by the Sorcerer and lives. I think it might have survived, but either way, very quick thinking there from Cornholio. 87 to 218. Eldritch Storm, of course, was nerfed in the update. Plague Marines making a nuisance of themselves. Gonna shoot some gens. There's the 2-1 for Cornholio. Sorcerer goes for the natural VP. Gonna be a double, maybe even a triple. What is this? This is Heretics fighting a node for the Dark Gods and all that. And he gets a decap. Happy with the double right now. Down to 87 VPs. How did he get Cornholio so low? Cornholio seems to have won the bulk of the fights. I think this guy's got problems. He's bleeding a lot. Did the Plague Marines retreat or they just backed away? Might be able to be annoying and knock those guys off the cap with your grenade launchers. Maybe. You might be waiting for the cap to be almost done. Fire Prism shots, there we go. You can buff that thing with Guide to give it even more crazy range. And bump up its damage a bit, of course. There's the Chains of Torment. You need to try and target this central mass and shoot it down. Can be quite tricky though in the middle of big engagements. And those guys walk into it. Look at the range that the Chains of Torment has. Time field. Farseer must be in here somewhere. I can't see her. There she is. Lost the indicator for her ages ago. Raptors jumping after the Fire Prism. Oh, and the Plague Marine's got a shot off there, and there's a Melter Bomb. That's done for that thing, I think. One more touch from a Melter. Down it goes. 87 to 124. So Council trying to fight a Nurgle tank. Actually turned out to be a really good purchase for Cornholio. With its melee resistance. Boom. Doing some work. Cornholio has tons of resources going for the Great and Clean one now. Don't think it's going to be needed here. And there's a GG from CNA. And there's the concede. Had a rough tier 1 CNA. Tried to recover the Wraith Lord. Did a decent job. But just couldn't win the fights. And couldn't put much, if any, pressure on Cornholio's power over here. There's a few occasions when he, didn't dodge Doom Bolts effectively. Or left units idle or mispositioned them. But hey, it's tough. It's a tough game. And CNA did well. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. And I'll see you next time.